J.J. Watt. Pass is caught. Diggs! Side the hole! He broke his ankles. Lightning strike from McCaffrey.
We're having fun. We get to have fun here. This is what it's all about.
Can you believe we only have 3 more football games left this year? Just 3 more NFL football games in the 2025-2026 NFL season. That's all we've got left. That's it. No more after that. Welcome into the show. Welcome into the Swank Tank. It is the championship round episode. We're doing a full breakdown of Patriots at Broncos, a full breakdown of Rams at Seahawks. That's essentially it for this episode. We're going to end it with a little bit of a coaching update, taking a look at some teams, maybe where they're looking for head coaching positions, head coach openings, who's been hired. Little update there, but outside of that, we just got the 2 main games to break down for the weekend. The AFC Championship on deck first, and then the NFC Championship after that as well. 3 games left, people. That's all you've got. We got to make the most of it, and we have some really good matchups, even with no Bo Nix, even with a turnover-prone Sam Darnold. We'll see if he does that again this week. These matchups are fantastic. We have some fantastic games. Welcome into the show. Welcome into the Swank Tank. It is Thursday morning, January 22nd. Welcome in. If you are new, welcome for the first time. If you are returning, welcome back into the show. I'm your host, Ryan Swankowski. If you are not already, please go and follow on all these socials at the Swank Tank. We're getting near 1,000 followers on Instagram. That is the goal before Super Bowl 60 kicks off. We're getting close. Not quite there yet. Make sure to go tap in on Instagram, YouTube, TikTok at the Swank Tank, and of course on Spotify at the Swank Tank as well. Already broke it down for you. Full championship weekend breakdown, weather, injuries, betting lines, analysis, predictions, defenses versus offenses, offenses versus defenses. We got it all for you for the 2 championship games on deck for this coming Sunday. Appreciate you being here, tuned in. It's going to be a great weekend. And without further ado, we're going to dive straight into the first game. Again, only 2 games, and then the Super Bowl. The first game of the weekend, Patriots at Broncos. Let's do it. We have Drake May in the New England Patriots traveling to take on the Denver Broncos. 2 p.m. Central Time kickoff. New England is -5.5 on the road at Mile High Stadium. They are favored by 5.5 points in this spot. The weather. So 2 p.m. Central Time kickoff, like I mentioned, cold in the low to mid 20s. It's going to be somewhere around there. No rain in the forecast at the moment, so probably won't snow, but very, very cold temperatures for this game. Probably the coldest game, second coldest game of the playoffs so far, besides last week's Bears-Rams game. Injuries. You already know with Denver. Bo Nix, broken ankle on a freak play. Very, very freak accident type of injury there for Bo Nix. He posted on Instagram Wednesday night, or Wednesday, at some point during the day. Sad post. Sad to see him go down. The leader of this team hasn't missed a game all year long. Of course, now will miss the AFC Championship and potentially the Super Bowl. Bo Nix out. Jared Stidham, or Jared Studham, which one will he be, is the starter for Denver. J.K. Dobbins, by the way, could be back in this spot. Activated off IR. Practice window has been opened for him. There's a chance he goes. It's, to me, right now, kind of a toss-up 50-50. Don't want to rush a player back too fast. Then again, you lose and you're out for 7 months. So we'll see if he can give it a go, maybe take some few carries, get a few reps in there. On New England's side of the football, Carlton Davis, questionable. I think he'll play. Outside of that, New England is pretty healthy. Mac Hollins obviously has been on IR for a few weeks now. Outside of that, guys, like New England is very, very healthy in this playoffs when considering everything that's gone on. A tough defensive matchup versus Houston, tough defensive matchup versus the Chargers. I mean, these have been physical football games for the New England Patriots, but they are seemingly very, very healthy at the moment, which is good to see. Want all the teams, if they can be, at their full potential. We're going to do a similar structure to like we did last week. We're going to go with the opposing team's defense, then the home team's defense, then the opposing team's offense, and the home team's offense. Then I'll give you my final end-all, be-all, here's what I think is going to happen and why. That's how this episode is going to go. Let's do it. So Patriots defense in the wild card gave up 3 points to the Chargers. They gave up 16 points to the Houston Texans. They have given up. Get this one. I need you to hear this off the bat. So I'm going to pause for a second, gather, and state it. They have given up, New England's defense has given up 135 total rushing yards in this playoffs. Total rushing yards, 135. That's it. That's it. The Rams last week against the Bears gave up 160 alone in one game. That just goes to show how strong of a defensive front, led by Milton Williams, that Mike Vrabel has over there in New England stopping the run. It's been damn elite. It's been elite all year long. In the playoffs, it's been even more than elite. They've been one of the best running defenses in the NFL this season, all-encompassing. And that's been very evident in these playoffs. Oh, on top of that, Patriots defense, 9 total sacks created in these playoffs, in these 2 games, 313 total passing yards given up. I mean, that's not a lot whatsoever. That's like, 150, quick math here, 156 and a half per game? I mean, they are not allowing you to run the football. They're not allowing you to throw the football. What are you supposed to do? They also sack you. They have 9 sacks in the playoffs so far. The Chargers and Texans get this as well. Accumulating the Chargers and the Texans stats combined into one here. They were a combined 8 of 27 on third down. That is quite horrible. 8 of 27. New England has held their opponents in the playoffs to on third down. Unbelievable. I mean, I can't overemphasize how strong this New England defense has been. They were really good throughout the season. Everybody was saying, they didn't play competition. They're playing teams that are essentially bye weeks. They're playing the Dolphins and the Raiders and whoever. This defense has been really good all year long, and now they're on the big stage underneath the bright lights in their element, doing what they've been doing all damn season. 19 games long. That's what they've been doing. This will be the 19th game. That's what they've been doing. No, 20th game. Excuse me. Play 17 now, which apparently now they want to move it to 18. That's an off-season topic. Along with all those other stats, they have created 6 total turnovers in this playoffs. They've been so damn elite. So elite. 6 total turnovers created, 9 sacks, 135 total rushing yards, 8 of 27 their opponents have been on third down combined. You can't ask for any more from New England's defense. Oh, you can. A pick 6. How about that against Houston? Yeah, a pick 6 against Houston. We don't got to revisit that. This defense is playing at an elite level under Zach Kerr, their defensive coordinator. I believe that's how you pronounce that. And Vrabel. One note, though, to note in this spot with Jared Stidham at the helm. In the regular season, they gave up the 11th most yards to tight ends in the air. So tight ends could be used here. Sean Payton has a very interesting scheme with his tight ends this year. They don't catch a lot of passes. They're out there a good amount, but they don't catch a lot of passes. Maybe things change with Jared Stidham at the helm. Something to note for the Patriots defense. Denver's defense, you know it. You know what they can do. Regular season, it was a top 5 unit across the board. Secondary led by Pat Surtain, extremely strong. You know what they can do. Nick Bonito, they get after the quarterback. They have the most sacks in the NFL. I mean, they get after the quarterback like nobody else does in the NFL. Or they did, I should say, through the regular season. Against the Bills, they caused 5 turnovers. Against the Bills. They were smothering Josh Allen in the pocket. They were forcing him to make big-time mistakes. That's what Denver's defense does. I mean, that's just what they do. Obviously under Sean Payton, they're an aggressive team. And you know this. They sacked Josh Allen 3 times. They caused 5 turnovers. Denver's been doing this all year long. It's nothing new. Against the Bills, though, as well, they were giving up almost 5 yards per carry to James Cook on the ground. Along with that, they have been bottom 10 in yards given up to tight ends this season. So this could very much be a tight end type of game. A little Hunter Henry, a little Austin Hooper, a little Evan Ingram, a little Troutman, maybe. The tight ends, I think, will be a factor in this game 100%. I would not be shocked if Evan Ingram somehow found the end zone. I loved him in the preseason to get a lot of volume. I missed on that. I'll be honest. Maybe this is a spot now in the really cold weather for both tight ends on both sides to get some more volume. So just keep that in mind here. The Patriots, offensively, they scored 16 against the Chargers and 21 offensively against the Texans. Obviously, they scored 28 against Houston. They had the pick six. We already touched on that. But they scored 21 offensively versus Houston. The regular season, this was a top 10 unit overall. The rushing attack, it didn't feel top 10. Statistically, it was. A little 1-2 punch, a little Henderson action later in the season, a little Stevenson, Gibson before he got hurt. It was actually a more successful running offense than maybe one would believe. Statistically speaking, yards, touchdowns, they were pretty damn good. They were just, floating around the top 10 in the regular season. Playoffs have been a little bit of a different story. This playoffs, all 4 of their offensive touchdowns have been through the air. It was Hunter Henry against the Chargers, then it was Booty, and then it was Diggs, and then it was Pop Douglas. So it's been 4 different receivers for Drake May in his 4 passing touchdowns in the playoffs this season. In the 2 games versus the Chargers and the Texans. The run game has been good. It's been good. They just haven't found pay dirt. They have 251 total rushing yards in these playoffs. That's fantastic. It's obviously 125.5 per playoff game. If they could do that against Denver, this game won't be very close. If they can go for 125 on the ground versus Denver, the Patriots will lock this game up. No doubt about that. Can they do that? That's going to be hard to do. But you saw Denver last week be a little bit more vulnerable in the run game, in the running defense, I should say, than they've kind of been all season. Cook had success on the ground. They fed him a lot. I believe he had around 24 carries, something like that, but almost 5 yards per carry. So there's a chance New England can establish that run game. If they do, might be a long day for that defense. Might just be. Big note there, every touchdown for New England offensively is coming in the air. Broncos offense. What can we expect with Jarrett Stidham at the helm? With other backup quarterbacks, you can usually look at past games, recent successes, what they've liked to do schematically and, formation-wise, and who they use more with him in the backfield, all that stuff, right? You can't do that with Jarrett Stidham. He hasn't thrown a ball in 2 seasons. Didn't throw one pass in 2024. Didn't throw one pass in 2025 until Sunday. Will be his first pass in 2 years in the NFL. So there's nothing to fall back on here information-wise or really much tape-wise whatsoever. Yeah, you got some preseason stuff if you want to look at that. That's not going to be a big telltale sign, right? So it's hard to fully determine what the Broncos will do offensively. Hasn't thrown a pass in 2 seasons. He spent time with the Patriots. He spent time with the Raiders in his career. Josh McDaniels and him have a very good relationship. They're familiar with each other. If you don't know who Josh McDaniels is, I'm assuming you do if you're here at the Swank Tank, at the NFL only, 24/7, 365 show, with 2 episodes a week. McDaniels is the offensive coordinator for the Patriots. He was the head coach for the Raiders, or it was a whole shabak, ordeal. All that being said, Stidham and McDaniels are very familiar with each other. Very familiar. Against the Bills, Denver's offense on the ground struggled tremendously. And one of the best matchups I thought going into that game was, okay, Denver should be able to run the ball. I picked Harvey in FanDuel. I liked him to, at least get maybe a clip 75 yards, have some good bursts of carries. He had 1 carry that was good. Outside of that, I think that 1 carry went for like 7 yards or so. Outside of that, he was completely shut down. Guys, against the Bills, Bo Nix himself led the team in rushing with 29 rushing yards. Against Buffalo in the playoff game in Denver against a bottom 10 rushing defense in Buffalo, the Broncos' leading rusher was Bo Nix with 29 yards. That is very worrisome in this spot for me when I look at Denver. If you can't run the ball whatsoever against the Bills, how the hell are you going to run it against the New England Patriots, whose, again, rushing defense has been elite of elite? If they cannot get the run game going in these slides, this game will be over. It will be over. That's one of those stats you can look at or think about before the game and says, if Denver can't eclipse X amount of rushing yards, they're not going to win this football game. I'll put that number at 75. That's not even asking that much. It's not. If they don't hit that, they're not going to win this football game. I mean, that's plain and simple. Especially with Stidham at the helm. We'll see what this offense can do. Patriots, again, top 5 rushing defense. It's going to be challenging. That's your offensive and defensive, analysis. Let's get into the final statements. Okay? Here's the deal. Sean Payton has something planned here. I don't know exactly what it is. He has something up his sleeve. Whether it's Stidham doing something funky, whether it's more Evan Ingram in the passing game, which it could be. You put, a quarterback like Stidham at the helm. It's cold weather. Maybe some checkdowns to Evan Ingram. Maybe Troutman's in there. That could be something Sean Payton has up his sleeve. It could be a schematic surprise he's got up his sleeve. It could be Sam Ehlinger going in there for QB draws. It could be some wildcat formations, Harvey taking snaps. Sean Payton has something up the sleeve. I know he does. I just don't know exactly what it is. I think it's going to be something schematically. Obviously, game plan-wise, got to have a little something out of the ordinary with a guy like Jared Stidham coming in who hasn't thrown the ball in 2 years in the NFL. Something tricky. He's got something tricky in his mind. And I fully expect a big trick play, whether that be wildcat, or I do think Sam Ehlinger gets snaps in this game in some capacity, whether he lines up at tight end or as a running back or he's at quarterback taking QB draws like I mentioned. He might have Ehlinger come in and run some plays. Something is up Sean Payton's sleeve. He's got something tricky in plan. I know it because he's Sean Payton. He's a genius of an offensive mind. He's a genius of a football coach. He's been around the block several years. You get it. You get it. He's got something up the sleeve, and I'm excited to see what that exactly is come Sunday. Maybe it's Evan Ingram. And even without Bo Nix, I think this Denver team as a whole has life. They have weapons. They have Cortland Sutton. They have Harvey. They have Surtain. They have Bonito. They have many other guys over there. Hufanga, Jahdae Barron. They have a lot of great pieces on this team. Mims was really good last week. He was clutch. A guy like Troy Franklin, who's got a lot of explosiveness, in the slot for you. They have a lot of weapons over there in Denver. This team has life, guys, and this defense steps up when they need to. They've been doing it all year long, and down the stretch especially, they did it when they needed to. Against Kansas City late in the year, they did. Last week, they did with the interception. It was an interception. This team will come out fired up at Mile High in the AFC Championship game. They will. So I like them to keep it pretty close. I like them to keep it competitive out the gate for sure. But I think New England runs away with this game in the fourth quarter. That's my prediction right there. So I'm taking the New England Patriots to go into Mile High and win this football game. But I do like Denver to keep it close and to keep it competitive. Especially up until at least the fourth quarter. Maybe a little bit deeper into the game as well. But New England will pull away in the fourth. That's where I think the lead is taken by New England, is towards the start-ish to midway through the fourth, and it's going to be for 2 reasons. I'm choosing New England for 2 main reasons to pull away in the fourth quarter. These 2. Drake May's clutch accuracy. Last week against Houston, Drake May did not play well overall. Fumbled the ball a lot, had a few interesting throws, but he was clutch. And when he needed to, he put that ball on a rope. The Booty one-handed catch was, credit to Booty for the one-handed catch, but he put that ball in a perfect spot for only him to go make a play. The Stephon Diggs catch put that ball in a perfect spot. The Pop Douglas kind of in slant route, whatever you want to call it, perfect ball. His touchdown throws were on the money, only where his receiver could get it. So Drake May, when needed to, can put that ball on a rope. I think he does that in the fourth quarter. I think he can do that throughout this game. But in the fourth quarter, I think that's where he comes in clutch. Along with that New England run defense is way too scary. It's way too scary. And yes, Denver at times has been able to run the football. Last week, though, they really struggled, which makes me really worried in the spot for that. This New England defensive front is nasty, led by Milton Williams. They're dangerous. They're fast. They're big. You get it. It's an elite group. I'm worried about Denver's rushing offense. I think they're going to have to involve Stidham, maybe even Ehlinger, in the rushing game to just get things going, get things moving. But I think that New England defensive front, forces the Denver Broncos to be more one-dimensional than they want to be. That's what I think. So for those two main reasons, Drake Moody's clutch accuracy down the stretch and the rushing attack for the New England Patriots defensively are the two reasons I give them the edge at Mile High Stadium. That's what I'm going with. Again, give me some read options, some QB draws here. Get Stidham out in space. Hell, get Ellinger out in space. Whatever it takes. Harvey at Wildcat to make things happen. But overall, it's those two main factors I just talked about that will take New England to Super Bowl 60. I'm taking the Patriots to win this football game at Mile High Stadium. We'll see if they get it done. They're 5.5-point favorites. It might be a little much. Maybe. We'll see what my bet is at the very end of the episode in Swank's Banks. I got the Patriots winning this football game. I'm going to take them by a final score of 27-23. That's my final score there. New England moves on to Super Bowl 60. That's what I've got. We'll see if it happens. We will see. All right. We now move into the last game before Super Bowl 60. The LA Rams traveling to take on the Seattle Seahawks in Seattle. 5:30 Central Time kick. Seattle is favored by 2.5 points. Weather. It's, we're a few days out. Still, it's Thursday morning. But low 40s around time of kick is predicted. Will drop a little bit more. So expect low 40s to upper 30s in this game. Shouldn't rain. Shouldn't get too close to snow. Nothing too crazy weather-wise. Just a little bit of chilly weather in the air. Injuries. Only one to really talk about is Zach Charbonnet. Out for the season. Believe it was torn ACL. Tough blow for the Seattle Seahawks. That 1-2 punch with Charbonnet and Kenneth Walker. You just took away the one. Or you took away the two. Whoever you want to put as the main back, they really shared reps all year long. Charbonnet out for this game. If they make the Super Bowl, out in that game and will be out for a decent bit of time. Speedy recovery to him. Outside of that, though, there's no other big injuries to mention. Devontae Adams is healthy. I mean, not much else to mention. You got some Seattle linemen who are questionable, Charles Cross, but I think they'll go. I think they'll be a full go here on Sunday night. We're going to start here with the Rams defense. Just like our Broncos and Patriots prediction, we're going to start with the away team defense. Then we'll go with the home defense, away team offense, home offense, etc. Let's start with the Rams defense. They gave up 31 to the Carolina Panthers at Carolina. They gave up 17 to the Bears in Chicago. Defense has been a little bit all over this playoffs. I mean, it's only a 2-game sample size, but all things considered, it's been a little bit chaotic. They gave up only 83, I should say, rushing yards to the Carolina Panthers, then to just give up, 160 to the Chicago Bears at Soldier Field. Again, those are very different rushing offenses. Chuba Hubbard and Rico Dowdle down the stretch really was not a big factor for the Carolina Panthers. That running game really struggled down the stretch for the Carolina Panthers there. But with the Bears, that's their bread and butter. It was the running game. We're averaging the second most rushing yards per game across the entire 25-26 season with Mononga, with Swift. So a little bit different offensive styles, of course, to keep in mind. But they did give up a lot more rushing yards to the Bears. 160 on the ground, that's a lot. Secondary-wise, has not been great. They allowed 250-plus pass yards in each of their playoff games. That's against Bryce Young. That's against Caleb Williams. Secondary has not been phenomenal. They've been clutch in the turnover department, but they've allowed a good amount of yardage and allowed quarterbacks to push them down the field a little bit more than they would like to see result-wise. The Rams also had 0 sacks against the Bears. Something to note. So caused some pressure for sure. Didn't quite get home to Caleb. At least that's what it said on the stat sheet. But they did cause 3 interceptions. So while the secondary has been getting a little, not necessarily diced up, but they haven't been quite as strong as you would like to see, they have created, I should say, some big-time turnovers. And against the Bears, they picked off Caleb Williams 3 times. Can't ask for too much more come playoff time than causing some big-time turnovers in some big-time spots. So kudos there to the Rams secondary. They also had 1 interception against Bryce Young and the Carolina Panthers. The Rams defense as a whole this season. They've relied more on their running defense than their secondary. But again, that running defense at times and last week has proven to be a little bit vulnerable, more than they would like to see. Against Seattle this year, so again, these are in-division rivals. They played twice this year. Of course, you know that. In those two games against Seattle, they gave up 38 points and they gave up 19 points in their two respective games. They caused 7 total turnovers in those two games against Seattle in the regular season. 6 of those 7 turnovers were interceptions by Sam Darnold. They picked off Sam Darnold 6 times in 2 regular season games. Something to absolutely keep in mind as we work through the rest of this game breakdown and my overall prediction. Seahawks defense, they were elite as it gets against the San Francisco 49ers, who limped into that stadium, who limped into Seattle, who limped into the playoffs, and who's been limping all year long. But Seattle took care of business. They more than took care of business in that spot against the 49ers. They didn't even let the 49ers get into the red zone. Not once in an entire 60-minute football game. And they were passing the ball, at least they should have been, 90% of that game because they found themselves in a deep hole with, 5 minutes to go in the first quarter? I mean, so they were trying to press down the field a lot, didn't even get into the red zone. Huge credit to Seattle's defense against the 49ers. Oh, yeah, and they only gave up 6 points. Yep. Also, they caused 3 turnovers against the 49ers as well. So no red zone appearance for the 49ers in that game. They caused 3 turnovers against the 49ers in that game. They made the 49ers go 0-3 on 4th down. It was a perfect outing from not only the Seattle defense, but the Seattle special teams and the Seattle team as a whole. It couldn't have been better. They have a lot of momentum going into this game. I will just say that. In the regular season, defensively, elite run defense with a very solid secondary, but give up the 6th most yards to tight ends in the regular season. Keep that in mind for a potential matchup as we continue along this game breakdown. Against the Rams this year, Seahawks defense gave up 21 points and 37 points. They caused 1 turnover in 2 games. So the Rams caused 7 turnovers in 2 games for Seattle in the regular season. Let's now shift over to the Rams offense. In this playoffs, they scored 34 points against the Panthers, 20 points against the Bears in overtime total. So it's been really balanced. When you look at this as a whole, the Rams all season long offensively have been very balanced. You have a guy like Kyron Williams, yes, who's really good. Then you have Corum behind him. You have a guy like Puka Nacua, who's been unbelievable, the best receiver in football with JSN, who's ironically on the other team. And then you got, a guy like Devontae Adams right behind him. So not only has this offense been balanced, it's really just been deep. Like their depth is really unmatched. You could go 1, 2, even 3 down the depth chart. Even at tight end, Higbee is kind of not been a major factor anymore. But you got a guy like Parkinson who stepped up this year in a big time way, especially in these playoffs for the LA Rams. So offensively, not only are they balanced, they're really, really deep. At wide receiver, they're deep at running back, they're deep at tight end. They're loaded. They're loaded. All that to say, offensively. And in this playoffs, I just said how balanced they were. They've had 3 rushing touchdowns in this playoffs and 3 passing touchdowns in this playoffs. I mean, it's as balanced as it gets. If you take away one thing, they'll beat you in a different area. They'll beat you at the other thing. You want to take away the pass? Okay. You want to drop 7 into coverage, they'll beat you in the running game. You want to put 8 in the box, they'll throw it over, on top of you. So it's so balanced. They can run it, but my God, can they throw it? Stafford's going to win MVP. I mean, by far the best quarterback in football this season. I mean, outside of Josh Allen, of course. But through the air alone, it was Matthew Stafford. Against the Seahawks this season, they've overall taken good care of the football, and Stafford has diced them up this year. In 2 games against Seattle in the regular season, Matthew Stafford, here's his numbers. Stafford threw for 587 yards, threw 5 touchdowns, and had 0 interceptions. He played not perfect, especially that first game, but pretty damn close to perfect considering that Seattle defense in the regular season. You couldn't have asked for much more from Matthew Stafford in the regular season against Seattle. especially given how strong Mike McDonald's defense is over there. So that being said, I mean, the Rams and their offense, while being so balanced, while being still so balanced in this playoffs alone, has had a lot of success against that Seattle defense, especially in the secondary. Just something to note. Seattle's offense, let's talk about them now. They scored 41 on the 49ers in their one playoff game this season. Without Charbonnet, though, the running game is going to look a little bit different. Yes, George Alani activated off of IR. We'll see if he even goes in this game. We'll see if he has an impact. I mean, it's going to be Kenneth Walker at running back. That's about it. They don't have a lot of depth at that position. That's going to be a big hindrance here for Seattle. They liked Charbonnet. You saw it all year long. They love to use him as a nice compliment, if you can even call it that, because they really split carries all year long to Kenneth Walker. You only wanted to run Kenneth Walker 15 times a game, maybe even less. Now he's going to have to take on 98% of the carries in this spot. Darnold, as we all know, is not a running quarterback overall. He's a pocket passer. All things considered, a lot of weight will be put on Kenneth Walker's shoulders to perform and to succeed in this spot. And we'll see if he can do that. During the regular season, this offense as a whole, they were top 10 across the board. Passing, running, they were really, really strong in all areas. They were balanced as well. But against the Rams this year, so in those two games, we know what the issue was. We know what the issue's been for the Seattle offense all season long. Darnold's turnovers. And in those two games against the Rams, kind of prefaced it earlier, we're talking about the Rams defense, Sam Darnold was picked off 6 times. Unacceptable if they want to win this football game. I will just say that to you right now, to your face. Unacceptable. Sam Darnold has to play better than he has in his 2 games against the Rams this season. 6 interceptions in 2 games against the Rams. He's trying to beat CJ Stroud's record over there, it seems like. Trying to pull a CJ Stroud, I should say. He's got to be better. Can he? I'll let you know in a second if I think he can. The comeback win against the Rams in overtime about a month ago was sparked by their new additions. It was sparked by Shaheed. It was sparked by Cooper Kupp, the ex-Ram. If they want to win this football game, obviously outside of Darnold not turning the ball over nearly as much as he's done against the Rams this year, they will have to get involved again 100%, especially with a talent like Charbonnet down. Shaheed, in the passing game even maybe, and Cooper Kupp are going to have to step up in this spot and make a major play. That's how they beat the Rams a month ago. Shaheed with an electric, big play, Kupp catching a touchdown. Those guys, their new additions, need to step up in this spot again. Maybe they can. Here's the deal. Here's the end-all, be-all for me and my final prediction, my final statements. All year long, I've been saying to you, the Rams are the most balanced team. The Rams are going to go make it to the Super Bowl. The Rams are good enough defensively to do it, but offensively, they're a wagon. They're balanced. They are disciplined. They're unbelievably talented. All those things remain true. They have the leadership as well with Stafford, with Adams. They have the extreme turnover success against Darnold this season, picking him off 6 times, causing 7 total turnovers in 2 games against the Seattle Seahawks in the 2025 regular season. They have the veteran leadership, like I kind of just touched on, and they have the Super Bowl experience. McVay's got a Super Bowl. Stafford has a Super Bowl. You look across the way to Seattle, it's a much, comparative to the Rams, newer team. Sam Darnold hasn't had a lot of playoff experience. Mike McDonald obviously has not had a lot of head coaching playoff experience. You got guys like, Shaheed, who's still young. Yeah, you got a guy like Kupp, totally valid, but Kenneth Walker's, a little bit younger, and you kind of have some younger pieces who aren't quite as experienced when it comes to just overall playing in the playoffs, I should say. But even after all those things, even though I've been on the Rams all year long, even though I picked the Rams to beat Carolina, I picked the Rams to beat Chicago. And I really like this Rams team. I'm going to take Seattle. I'm taking Seattle to win this football game in their own building. I'm changing it up. And I have Seattle moving on to Super Bowl 60 with a rematch of Super Bowl 49 on our hands. So my Super Bowl prediction, who will make it? Seattle in New England, a rematch of Super Bowl 49. What this game to me obviously comes down to, Sam Darnold taking care of the football. That's obvious. You're going to hear every NFL media account, every NFL podcast, NFL show, NFL content creator say and ask you, do you trust Sam Darnold? My answer to that is, I don't know if I trust Sam Darnold. I don't know. But this Seattle team, throughout the season, they've been really, really strong on both sides of the football. But, you kept thinking in the back of your mind, Darnold will make the mistake. Darnold's going to do it again. I can't fully trust them because Sam Darnold's at the helm. But what you've seen from the Seattle team over the past several weeks is that Sam Darnold doesn't have to really do anything in a lot of these teams' wins. The defense is beyond good enough. The special teams have been making big plays. I mean, the running game has been really solid. And without Charbonnet, that throws a little wrench in their plans. I get it. But still, Sam Darnold hasn't had to do a lot. If they can kind of, copy and paste that recipe here, Seattle's going to win this football game. Let me backtrack, though, and answer the question. Do I trust Sam Darnold? I don't know yet. We're going to find out on Sunday. But I'm going to take Seattle because as a whole, I think they're playing with a lot of confidence. You've seen that, especially defensively. They've been dominating the 49ers. I mean, they've looked like, outside of Houston, the best defense in the NFL. So you can feel their confidence in their own building at night. I mean, that's a really hard place to play. I think as a whole, you can feel it. You can feel the energy they've been bringing to the table. It feels different. If they can copy that recipe from last week, not turn the ball over, not have Darnold have to throw the ball, X amount of times. He threw the ball 17 times last week. That's it. So I'm asking you, do you trust Sam Darnold? You think about that. If you want to ask me that, I'm going to say, I don't know, but there's a chance that we don't have to know. That's what I'm trying to say. There's a world where Sam Darnold doesn't have to be fully trusted in this game. If Seattle can keep playing like they've wanted to and like they have over the past several weeks. All that being said, he still needs to take care of the football. Like, that's an obvious factor. And I guess because I'm taking them to win, I guess he can do that at a high enough level. I think he can. But I just like Seattle as a whole, and I like how they're playing, and I like their momentum, especially over the past few weeks. The defense firing on all cylinders. The run game has been churning. The 12th man will be loud. Rams secondary also at times has been a little bit vulnerable. You've seen it, not necessarily against Seattle this year, fully. I mean, in the comeback win, they were a little bit. But the Rams secondary has at times been a little bit more vulnerable than, again, they would like to see and they would like to have. Overall, I think Darnold can get it done just purely based off not throwing 3 interceptions. Darnold, just take care of the rock, man, and you're going to win this football game. You're going to. In the Rams, like I've already said a bunch throughout this prediction, in this breakdown, I like them a lot this season. They're a really great team. They're fun to watch. They're so damn dynamic, and they're so damn balanced. Seattle in their own building, to me, gets it done here. They move on to Super Bowl 60. They face the New England Patriots. Super Bowl 49 rematch. I have Seahawks. I have New England moving on to the Super Bowl. Give me Seattle to get it done on Sunday night. I'm going to take them by 3. Also, final score prediction, Seattle 28, Rams 25. I think Seattle wins by 3 in this spot. That is a cover. That is my Super Bowl prediction. Seahawks, Patriots. Let's see if it comes through. Let's see if it comes to life. Now let's wrap up this show with a quick little head coaching update. Robert Saleh has been hired, I should say, the Titans head coach. They have found their man, the guy who's been to the 49ers and to the Jets as head coach, then back to the 49ers as defensive coordinator. He is now the Titans head coach for multiple years to come. I don't know how I can grade this initial hiring. All I will say is this. Who they now hire at OC matters maybe more than them hiring Robert Saleh as head coach. You know what you're getting with Saleh. You're getting a D'Amico-esque, a Mike Vrabel-esque guy. It's defense first. It's defense focused. All they really have over there defensively is Devondre Sweat and Jeffrey Simmons. They need to add more pieces to that defense. It's very, very weak. But you know Saleh is the defensive mind. You don't really got to worry about the schematics and things of that nature. Defensively now with Tennessee. That's all going to be on Saleh. The OC matters so much. I can't overstate that. in Tennessee and who they hire. Not only because you have a rookie quarterback in Cam Ward, but because Saleh is there most likely overall purely for defensive purposes. This OC is going to have a big role with this team. And you have youth with Cam Ward. You got to develop him, obviously, a lot more than just his rookie season, right? A lot to be done. It's a project over there in Tennessee offensively. A guy like Brian Dable has been mentioned several times. We'll see if he gets a head coaching job. But the OC to me matters almost just as much as this head coaching hiring. So once that gets named, once the OC is named in Tennessee, I'll go grade their hirings over there. McDaniels to the Chargers as OC. Mike McDaniel has ended up in LA with Justin Herbert as their OC. A+. Just an A+. If you really want me to get into the weeds about this, maybe we can do that more in the offseason. Just on this paper, looking at it, I mean, it's an A+ hire. It's a home run hire. I think he could have been a head coach somewhere. I think in his mind, he's thinking, let's go to the Chargers, who have an unbelievable amount of offensive talent with Amarion Hampton. Next year, you're going to be getting guys like, Joe Alt back and Slater back on the offensive line. You have Gadsden, the young, obviously potentially promising tight end. You obviously have Justin Herbert, whose potential is still maybe fully not seen, not been to his full potential yet. So McDaniels going to the Chargers is a unbelievable hire, just as OC for them. I expect great things for the Chargers in 2026 offensively. I expect fantasy-wise them to be very high-owned in every single league. Herbert's going to be drafted much higher because of him. It's a home run hire. For the Chargers, it's a big deal. Big statement, though, for me. And I said this on Monday night's episode. Coaches will be reached for. There are still 6 head coach openings right now at this moment as the time I'm recording. Again, this is Thursday morning, Thursday the 22nd. And there's still 6 head coach openings. You got the Cardinals, Bills, Ravens, Steelers, Raiders, and Browns. 6 openings. Some are way more attractive than others. I'll just say that. There will be teams reaching for head coaching candidates. That's very evident. There's more teams in need of a head coach right now than there are, I think, to me, viable options for hirings at head coach. Names that come to mind top of my head. Raheem Morris. Didn't have much success in Atlanta. I don't think, teams are necessarily filing the paperwork as fast as they can to try to get him in for an interview to try to hire him. If that was the case, he would have already been hired, right? Raheem Morris. I'm not high on him. Dable. I think he's going to go be the OC probably in Tennessee. If I had to guess right now, could he be a head coach somewhere? Absolutely. I think he maybe should be, in all honesty, given who's out there. But we'll have to see. Dable, prime candidate. Brian Flores has re-signed as defensive coordinator with the Minnesota Vikings. That does not mean officially he'll be there next year. If there's a head coaching job that opens up, he could still theoretically take that. That's what Schefter was kind of talking about. So not a fully closed door, but definitely encouraging for Vikings fans to see that he did sign an extension to be DC next year for Minnesota. So you pull his name off the list. This is a very thin list of, to me, or from what I think, head coaching candidates. Very thin list of head coaches out there. Very small list where I would, say, oh, these are really valid candidates. It's thin, guys. It's thin. Teams are going to be reaching on their head coaching hirings. If Flores is indeed staying, you got Dable, you have Raheem Morris, you have guys like McDermott now from the Bills, who's definitely going to get hired. That's a good one there. But, Chris Shula, defensive coordinator for the Rams. I gave you 3 to 4 names there. There's 6 openings. And 1 or 2 of those guys could be coordinators. Morris could definitely be a DC. Dable could definitely be an OC. Teams are going to have to reach, and I don't think they're going to be very happy about that. Just keep that in mind. Teams will reach. That could be a good thing. That could be a bad thing. Quickly on our Swanks Banks, we got Seattle minus 2.5. Again, I think they win by 3, 28-25, and we're taking Patriots money line. They can win by 7. They can win by 1. I don't care that final score. I think they win the game for all the reasons I mentioned earlier, and I'm taking them money line. Those are my 2 Swanks Banks for the championship round of the playoffs, and that is our championship episode. Again, if you are not already, please make sure and go and follow on all the socials at the Swank Tank: YouTube, Spotify, TikTok, and Instagram. If you made it all the way, whether you're watching or listening, I appreciate you so much. We will have an episode on Monday night recapping these championship games. You don't want to miss that. Stay tapped in. Appreciate you so much. Enjoy the championship weekend. The season's wrapping up right before our eyes. Go win some bets. Go follow all the socials at the Swank Tank. Appreciate you more than you know. Have a great championship weekend. We will see you Monday night.